The Minnesota Timberwolves are done. Down 3-1, heading back to Oklahoma City Thunder. It would take the impossible to come back and win this series. But if you listened to this show, you knew this several days ago. Thanks for tuning in. How did the Timberwolves lose to the Thunder on Memorial Day? Because they scored 126 points. But man, there were so many things that went wrong. I need you to first check out 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, though, because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours. I was talking to a friend, and they are frustrated that their bathroom remodel has taken 2 months. And they regret not going with 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, because I told them, hey, look at this. They did it in 48 hours. And my friend's like, well, we have a family friend that can do it a little cheaper. 2 months later, they're still waiting for the project to be finished. Our project was done in 48 hours. Affordable payment plans, free consultations, and they took our floor, new floor. Took our shower, new shower. Took our surround, new surround. We went from 1 sink to 2 sinks in our bathroom. And then we got a new vanity. All done in 48 hours. Do not cram into your teeny tiny bathroom downstairs while you try to get ready for work, while the kids try to get ready for school. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis can transform and will transform your bathroom in 48 hours, and it will be a beautiful masterpiece like ours is. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis will give you the bathroom of your dreams and will add value to your home. If you need a bathroom upgrade, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis, contact them today. All right. The Timberwolves fall 128-126. And there are so many storylines in this game. 7'1" Rudy Gobert, as the Oklahoma City Thunder are eating on the offensive glass. 19 offensive rebounds. In totality, Rudy Gobert, for the night, had 9 rebounds. 2 of those rebounds were defensive rebounds. How is that even possible? How does Mike Conley have as many defensive rebounds as Rudy Gobert? How does Terrence Shannon Jr., who played 8 minutes, have as many defensive rebounds as Rudy Gobert? Naz Reid, 3 defensive rebounds. Only one guy had less rebounds than Rudy Gobert, and that was Dante DiVincenzo. Talking about defensive rebounds, that is. Offensive rebounds, Gobert had 7. Oh, man. My theory was right, though. I called Game 2 a must-win game in Oklahoma City because I did not believe that the Timberwolves would win back-to-back games against the Oklahoma City Thunder in this series. I did not believe the Timberwolves would beat the Thunder twice in Minneapolis. They dominated them in Game 3, winning by 42 points. But my theory became true in Game 4. And the reason why I had that theory is because of what happened in Game 4. The Timberwolves do not value the little things enough. Because the little things, in the end, become huge things. Like turnovers. Like defensive rebounding. Like closing out quarters and halves. At one point, they're closing out a quarter. And they could have waited until the shot clock finished And Julius Randle shot a 3 in the top of the key. He missed. The Thunder come down, knock down a shot. They go up by more. That's 2 extra points the Thunder had. They value the little things, and the Timberwolves don't. The Thunder had 95 shots versus the Timberwolves' 84 shots. And it's all because of the offensive rebounds the Timberwolves allowed and because of their 21 turnovers. 7 turnovers in the first quarter. 13 turnovers in the first half. The Timberwolves, in the first half, were shooting 65% and were losing. That should be damn near impossible. To shoot 65% and be down by 9 points should be impossible. Yet that's what the Timberwolves did. Because they were lights out. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels. The role players played their part and did more than you would ever expect them to do. But Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle didn't. There were some crazy stats following this game. This one comes from Greg Harvey on X. It says this: teams entered today 0-190 all-time in the playoffs when having fewer rebounds, fewer assists, fewer free throw attempts, a lower field goal percentage, lower three-point percentage, and lower free throw percentage in a game than their opponents. The Thunder just made that 1-190. But the difference in the game was the Thunder had 95 shots and the Timberwolves had 84 shots. That's 11 more attempts at the basket. And they lost by 2. The Timberwolves shot 51.2% and made 18 threes. Before tonight, teams that shot 50% or better from the floor and made 18 plus threes were 55-0 in the playoffs. Now they're 55-1. The Timberwolves made history in all the worst ways. And you could just see and observe the game and recognize that the Timberwolves were not doing the small things right, which become huge things in the end. Because they lose by 2. If you have 17 turnovers in this game, which is still a lot, you probably win that game. The Thunder had 14. They value the ball and the possession. They play smart. And the Timberwolves are not intentional with the basketball. Julius Randle, 5 turnovers. Anthony Edwards, 5 turnovers. Those guys had half the turnovers. And here's the problem. Edwards, 5 for 13. And Julius Randle, 1 for 7. They combined to make 6 field goals from the floor and combined to have 10 turnovers. Your 2 best players cannot perform like that in a must-win game to even the series at 2-2. Because maybe somehow miraculously the Timberwolves win Game 5. Probably not. I would give them a less than 1% chance to win Game 5. But even if they did, they would still have to win in Minneapolis. And they would still have to go back to Oklahoma City and win again. So the series is over. They needed to win Game 2 or Game 1. They needed to split in Oklahoma City Thunder because they weren't going to win both games at Target Center. The Timberwolves are not consistent enough in their ability to do the small things right. to beat the Thunder. And that's what we're witnessing. That's what I predicted, and that's what we're seeing. Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle combined to score 21 points. You're talking about the two best players on their home court. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams combined for 74 points. Their two best players outscored the Timberwolves' two best players by 53 points. Anthony Edwards had just two shot attempts in the first half. And he was a good distributor of the ball, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He was active defensively, guarding Shai and being physical with him. But this is the exact reason why I refuse to call Anthony Edwards an NBA superstar, but rather say he has superstar moments, like in Game 3, when he took complete control of the game offensively and defensively, was efficient, shooting 12 of 17, putting up 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. But how can I call Anthony Edwards a top-of-the-line NBA superstar when he shoots 5 for 13, puts up 16 points in a must-win game for the Timberwolves, in a game they lost by 2? And I hear all of this bullshit about how he is guarded by the Thunder. Which, okay, I get it. So many guys are paying attention to Anthony Edwards. So many guys are focusing in on what he is doing and maneuvering and shifting their defense towards shutting him down. But the problem with that thought is, you don't think the Timberwolves are doing the same thing to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Dane Moore, he sent out this tweet on X. I asked Ant in the locker room about his balance of being aggressive for his own shot and finding his teammates when he received extra attention, and they firmly believed he made the right plays all night. Did say it was frustrating to not get as many shot attempts as he wanted, but also said more shots weren't there. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is being defended very similarly to Anthony Edwards. And he managed to put up 40 points, 13 for 30, 12 of 14 from the free throw line, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. What is different than the way Shai is being guarded than the way Anthony Edwards is being guarded? Not much. And the MVP of the league took over this game, and Anthony Edwards didn't. And that's the difference. One of the many differences. So I think about what Anthony Edwards is, and he's still young enough to become an NBA superstar on a consistent basis. But I see so much evidence of him not performing to a superstar standard. Because think about it like this. What if LeBron James put up this stat line? The dude would be butchered for weeks. The dude still gets butchered and ridiculed for the 2011 NBA Finals versus the Dallas Mavericks because he was so bad. And Anthony Edwards, in a must-win game for the Timberwolves, puts up 15 points. What NBA superstar does that? The superstar on the Thunder put up 40. Because the Thunder, as much as this was a must-win game for the Timberwolves, the Thunder themselves viewed this as a must-win game. Because they're thinking in their minds, we win this game and the series is over in 5. If we lose this game, the series could go 7. But we win and the series is over. This game dictated the series, and the series is now over. I thought the series was over after game 2, after the Timberwolves didn't split. But now the series is really over. And Anthony Edwards deserves to be criticized because he did not live up to a superstar label that so many people want to put on him. Sure, was the defense guarding him a certain way? Yeah, they were all over him all game. But somehow the MVP of the league, who faces the same defenses and who the Timberwolves doubled and tried to lock down, put up 40 points and shot 14 free throws and put his impact on the game. So that's a big problem. The Timberwolves bench played well, though. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 23 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 21 points. Knocking down open threes. Both went 5 for 8 from the three-point line. And what stinks about this game is that the Timberwolves wasted their performances, because they will not perform like this again in the playoffs. Both on their games to that degree, both shooting 5 for 8, that ain't going to happen again. Nickeil Alexander-Walker led the Timberwolves in points. Dante DiVincenzo right behind him. Jaden McDaniels with 22 points. So what's so frustrating is that the Timberwolves wasted those performances because Anthony Edwards did not play like a superstar, because their inability to do the small things well on a consistent basis, meaning turnovers and defensive rebounding. It's not like the Timberwolves have a small lineup on the floor either. It's not like they're throwing out a lineup filled with guards and forwards. You've got 7'1", 7'2" Rudy Gobert. You've got Jaden McDaniels, who's tall and lengthy. Julius Randle, who's a brute. Anthony Edwards, who's athletic. There's no reason why the Timberwolves should give up 19 offensive rebounds. Costed them the game. So did the turnovers. So it's a frustrating loss. Season's over. I'll still watch it Wednesday, but season's over. The truth remains the same. Regardless of what happens on a Wednesday night, the season's over. The game's over. The series is over. And the Timberwolves have a lot to learn and have a lot of growing up to do, because going into the series, the Thunder were predicted to win because they do the small things right. And throughout the series, it's been the same story every game, besides game 3. The Thunder do the small things better than the Timberwolves do. That's the story. Thanks for watching and listening. 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today. Go Wolves.